Come on, Coop. You didn't come 200 years to go out, to go out like this. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we're here with another reaction to Fallout. We're on season 2, episode 6, which is called The Other Player. So, last episode, we had a lot of backstory on Coop and kind of an understanding of what went down in Vegas many, many moons ago. Him and Lucy were actually right there in Vegas after seeing some death claws for the first time. And we kind of got the history of House and, you know, the mission that Coop was put on to assassinate him. But instead, he ended up finding out that House was basically an information gatherer. And he recognized that there is somebody, like, he knows like all the main players that were in the room that Coop eavesdropped into, but he's like, there's another player involved that I don't know, and he's pulling invisible strings, and you know, that's the person that worries me. And he also told Coop that he thinks that he was very capable of being the person who would have triggered everything that happened that caused this situation. So for us as an audience, it means that there is someone else, another player involved that we've potentially not been introduced to yet. So there was that, and then we see that Coop unfortunately decided to betray Lucy for the sake of the safety of his family. Hank gave him the ultimatum of either protecting his family by letting go of Lucy, or of course putting them in danger, I should say, and staying with her. So obviously Lucy feels super betrayed, and she managed to Spartan punch my guy right out the window before she unfortunately succumbed to the drugs. So that's where we left things. Haven't seen anything with Maximus in a while, so we'll see if we get any of him this episode. Ready to jump in. Just before I do though, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And also you can catch this reaction uncut on my Patreon if you're interested. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
Marketing thinks a 10 megaton blast will look better for the billboards.
But it won't be a 10 megaton blast. It'll be multiple 5 megaton blasts.
We're just talking about this over sandwiches?
The bad news is our water chips have a 30% fail rate.
They knew this from the get-go.
We get to choose who runs out of water.
Wow, this is what we're talking about right now? This is our
preferences.
Okay. Those fries are cold.
You know, we'd be crazy not to offer specialized freeway lanes for our premium customers. I mean, that's just money on the table right there.
What are you going to do with that money when there's no one to use? There's no economy.
Robco presents The Automated Man. Spent a lot of time trying to make my machines more lifelike, but hey, works the other way around too.
Sir, can you have a seat? Gee. That was very Lucy of him, actually. She would totally have done that.
Multiple vaults to do with as you wish. If this is the research you'd like to pursue in the vaults.
You must have missed the telegram. You were paying.
Oh.
In exchange, I get cold fusion to power my little project in Vegas.
Uh-oh, out the loop. What indeed?
Might be above your pay grade.
Oh, okay. All right, so that prototype's been out for a minute. She's conflicted. Sadly, not enough, though. But then again, maybe she was conflicted enough. But yeah, maybe after what Robert said, maybe she did try to pull out last minute and Coop did something to tip the scales.
A little help. Little help.
This doesn't look like the kind of place where people help you for free. Oh, dog meat. He can't help you with this one, though.
No.
Good boy.
Need the fucking hat.
Well, that's what I want to give you. Oh, he's turning. So the vials keep you sane then. Kind of crazy that Lucy low-key kept you from getting your objective in the end because you kept her from getting hers. Is what it is.
You know, the thing that I can't figure out is, were you a monster back then?
Oh, we're starting like that.
Or did you become one later?
Excuse me?
Is this the way we want to go in?
Never changes.
He knows.
I know what you're planning to do, Bart.
Yeah. I mean, I think she was hoping they never have that conversation, but she should have known there was a strong possibility she would. He really just thinks she gon'... Anyway, mind your neck, girl. So you're locked in? Okay, you're not. All right. Are those Legion folks?
Beautiful day, isn't it?
Oh, they've got the things on their head. That's why. Yeah, he's just going ham with them now. Check. Where did he find all these people? Yeah, your dad's entirely snapped, Lucy. I'm so sorry. It's true. This looks like a bad musical. Oh, they're making more of them. He made a manual assembly line. Oh, Lucy, you're going to have to kill your daddy. I'm sorry. There's no other way. And you have to blow this place up, too, by the way. Waiting for this moment of her dad going to try to pretend like nothing's wrong, like the whole thing was just a bad dream.
I guess we were waiting till after the wedding. Right?
You mean to the irradiated raider that then tried to kill me?
What did you think about the parts that you did read?
Really? We're going to talk about a book? Okay.
What aspect upset you most?
What if my dad turns out to be a psychotic murderer? Can we move on?
People fighting over the most petty things, like bottle caps.
Because of the world y'all created.
But you know, some things just never change. People just want to kill each other, don't they?
Like you killed her mother?
I'm bringing you back to Vault 33 to face justice for murdering the citizens of Shady Sands.
And your mother?
If you want to make this official, you should use these handcuffs.
Not you just keeping those on lock, sir. You know what I want to know? I don't even want to know with all those people he's got in there who are remote controlled. Yeah, he's being compliant right now, Lucy, because he's not taking you even remotely seriously.
What are you doing?
Surrendering.
Manipulating you, and it's working.
I did what I did to protect you. Maybe it came at too high a price.
Me? That's just a bunch of lies.
Just let me tell you.
Yeah, let me just try to brainwash you first.
Going.
Just give me a chance. I think you'll call what I've been doing redemptive.
Nope.
You mean brainwashing those people?
You can call it brainwashing.
Oh, it's exactly what it is.
Do you remember the field with the potato batteries when you were 5? And you had a little flashlight and you would run around?
Can you hit him with the extinguisher, please? Oh, he's already in. I mean, bless her for trying this tough act, but he's already in. I saw that little smile she gave when she first saw him, and I don't even blame her. Like, that's her last parent. Her life has been turned utterly upside down. Just have that out when people are looking for it, sir. Put it somewhere safe.
We gotta sell it, huh? No.
I mean, what is life now for him, right?
Of course, not gonna sell it. We would, find a buyer and sort of, you put out feelers.
I think it's kind of funny how they became like Knight and Squire again, but in a different way.
A good person.
Name a good person, seriously.
Right? He's like,
A
where are
grown
they in
man.
this world?
The Vault Dweller.
Lucy is intrinsically good.
I would be a good person too if I grew up on top of a mountain of food and supplies in some cozy little impenetrable home.
It's easy to say that.
Won't have to steal and stab and fib all the goddamn time just to get by. But if we sell it, guess what? Then we'll be rich.
For how long?
And then we'll have the means to be one of those good people you're talking about.
No, sweetie. Money only amplifies who you already are.
I remember good people.
Your parents were good people.
Well, if you're the lucky one, then we're both screwed.
Oh!
No offense.
He's got jokes, though. How long do ghouls have without that serum before they go cuckoo? Because he's been without it for a while now, right? Sorry, Coop. Sorry, you kind of brought this on yourself, though, a bit with this karma. You didn't have to be quite so mean with Lucy.
Daughter.
Well, you tried.
My daughter's alive.
We gonna use the power of being a papa? Come on, do it for your baby. Come on, Coop. You didn't come 200 years to go out, to go out like this. Oh yeah, it's like that rope climbing that people did in school. Why? What's wrong? Why are we stuck? Outside of the fact that I know that hurt. Sucks. But isn't that just a metaphor for life? You think you're climbing to the top and then life throws your ass back down again. Oh. Oh! Have you been claimed? Are you now a demon's bride? I want to know what's in there. Oh, is that a satanic church?
Yeah, it's just something that I work, but
We have an in.
go for the.
Anyway, I can't even say that out loud. I'll throw up. So is homie just trying to distract himself with the fact they're all gonna die in like another week because they're drinking away all their water? This man's in his own music video. Okay, Brad, do what you need to do.
The snack budget for the products of the inbreeding support group has been rescinded. The inbreeding support group has been dissolved.
Ugh. You can take the group away from them, but I don't think you can stop the.
But for the good of this vault,
You know what? Fine. You can dissolve the inbreeding.
He's going to incite a revolution.
we're running out of water. And you're feeding people salty snacks.
We're giving the people what they want.
Okay, then live without water then. I'll keep it in mind.
We're all down here because of who our parents were and who their parents were.
All it takes is one ignorant idiot with a loud voice. You know, a lot of people don't think for themselves.
Want to hear about the Weevil famine anymore? It feels good to hear someone finally say that out loud.
Look at that. People aren't that easy to control, are they? That's fine. Let them go. They're gonna die. They're gonna die of thirst soon enough. When they thirsty and there's no water, we'll see who they listen to.
Sorry, Chad. I know she's your wife, but sometimes.
She really isn't.
Excuse me, Dave.
She really isn't.
Fiance.
Not that either.
There's a poster.
Well, that's what you get, sir. You're gonna have to dig deep and find your balls, because that's why this woman's walking all over you. Although honestly, I feel like you have to be prepared to fight, because she will kill you. She didn't tell you because you're gonna do it regardless, aren't you, Chad? This is also why, outside of the fact that you're her cousin, why Lucy could never be with you. You're too weak, bro. Oh God, do I wanna? Oh, I think you're about to be someone's dinner, babes. Yeah. Oh, you're going up into one of them nets with all the drippy?
Uranium. Bad for them.
Super mutant? Yeah, that's a big hole. You don't have your thing to help you out. Are we gonna look through it? Oh, ew. Is this guy?
There's a war coming. And we need you healthy.
Who's we? Oh, is it working? Oh. Okay.
They call us abominations.
Okay.
They created our kind.
They did. But who's they?
Hey, you and me got bit by a different motherfucking bug, my friend.
You sure? Probably it's just a different variation of the same serum.
We're kin.
Yeah, I'd say so at this point.
The point of extinction. And forgot we ever existed.
Okay. Oh. Okay, he just wants friends. He wants a club. A club's okay. We can work with that.
People who set all this in motion.
The other guy.
The Enclave.
Oh.
Whatever it is I got to do, I do it alone.
But you needed help today, didn't you? Yeah, you did need help today. If Lucy had been there.
To find my family.
Well,
And yes, they're still alive.
you're gonna need friends.
He's not wrong.
If you won't join our kind,
Oh, there you are. Hello.
then you can't know where we live.
No.
Oh, yeah. I hope he didn't kill you. Those guys seem to be doing better, though. They're not rotting away.
For our daughter, you would kill millions of people.
Billions.
Wouldn't you?
You would. He's realized now, as he's wandered the wastelands for 200 years. If you believed that's what you had to
There are
do.
worse people out there than me, Coop.
Who
Oh, damn, he's mad at you.
be worse than
Yeah, the divorce was definitely inevitable. I'm sorry, Barb, honey.
I want you to get me every bit of information you can about how the cold fusion diode is stored at Voltec.
Is that a good idea?
Did I ask you to think? Okay, what are you up to, Barb? Show me why you're that top dog. I'm glad we're seeing this, because first season, it very much seemed like while she knew it was wrong, she wasn't necessarily against it. I never thought she was evil, by the way, but seeing conflict is nice. Who's she in with? Who is this? Hank?
You're just a very replaceable part in this machine.
Oh, him! Hey, season 1 guy.
Forget your place in the company. You'll die.
Enclave
So
guy.
will your family. The leaders of the most powerful corporations.
Just trying to figure out how he's here at this time.
The only way to guarantee results is
By dropping the bomb ourselves.
Okay, interesting twist. So he put himself into a cryopod then? Because if he was around 200 years ago, and then he was Enclave.
Who controls Vault-Tec?
She would not know that.
I don't know.
Respectfully, she's a cog in the wheel of many wheels.
This is not one of your movies with a happy ending.
Clearly not.
You know me. You know me.
He really wants to believe that.
I don't know you, Barbara.
Where are you going?
You know her, you just don't know everything about her. This highway to hell. Like, what happens if these people gotta go to the bathroom? Like, are they allowed to do that? Do they sense that?
Nothing to worry about, folks. My daughter is here to pursue the cause of justice.
So condescending.
Marjorie.
Is that even her name?
Hi.
Aren't we
She used to
supposed to be
find the murderer,
taking
right?
the perp to the jail, ma'am?
She used to cook people for the Legion. Now she makes trail mix, and boy, is it tasty.
But she's apparently just eating. No, your hands are all up on that. That's fine.
Hi, everyone. I just want to let you know that you're free now, okay?
They don't know what that means, Lucy.
You can all go back to the surface now.
Do we have to?
It's out there.
And like, respectfully, despite all of this, it's warm and safer in here.
They haven't been fixed yet. Should I just go ahead and do it now?
Great
Oh,
question.
is that the guy from NCR?
Wait, no!
I mean, NCR guy is already the slightest bit not okay now. You're such a dick, Hank. You just got stapled,
The
man.
button, it's the only way.
It really isn't. By the way, Lucy, he wasn't gonna die by stapling.
Well, I seem to have found myself in a bit of a jam.
Ugh, just gonna drive out all forms of culture and identity. Sure.
Kumbaya.
Shut up. He's like, seriously, I feel for her. If that was my father, I would have to punch him daily. Like, I'd just be randomly, he'd just be walking by and pop. I feel like the cold fusion's not in that suitcase, just saying. A little too obvious.
You know, for some reason, I didn't think you liked me very much.
No, he doesn't, and his gut was absolutely right. Oh, she's all business now. It's honestly more terrifying when she doesn't say anything, I'm gonna be real. Or is it like what the guy from... Oh, it was in him. Okay, that makes more sense. I forgot about, because I just remembered that from the guy with Dog Meat's original owner. He did that too. I'm just curious as to when Coop became a ghoul. That's why I assumed it was the serum first. I completely forgot about the fact that that's how they transported the cold fusion back in season 1. Oh, Dog Meat found y'all. He's like, please come help my friend. He doesn't want to join the mutant revolution today. Full circle. Come on, it's a reunion. We're besties.
Hey.
Right? Hey, friend. I'm a ghoul now too. Maybe he wants to join the revolution. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. All right, guys. Yeah, I was saying that one actually felt a bit shorter. It was a bit of a shorter episode. Still hearty, but all right. So the other player indeed. I guess they're referring to homie in the elevator that we learned from, or that we saw in season 1. Who is he? Why did he encourage her or to be the one to suggest dropping the bombs? Where did the threat come from? Because I don't think it came from him directly. He basically said in the elevator, I'm just doing my job too, the same way you're stuck doing your job. But yeah, I guess that's still a question mark for everybody. But yeah, this episode we kind of vacillated between mostly Lucy and Coop. We got a little bit of Max as we saw here, but he definitely was not the more, I guess the more substantial part of the episode. But you know, with Coop still going into the past, we see that he was actually very interesting. We see that he was starting to succumb to the ghoul, what would you call it? The ghoul oblivion, I guess would be the best way to put it. We saw last season that eventually ghouls, particularly if they can't get their hands on whatever that serum is that he always takes, they start to lose themselves, right? From forgetting their name, forgetting their past, forgetting who they are, and eventually they just kind of become those effectively zombies, right? They just snarl and wander around at that point. So again, we all know that Coop is long past where the average ghoul would make. Like 200 years is crazy. I don't even know if there's other ghouls that are as old as he is. But either way, because I guess I'm trying to figure out the correlation of how it works. From what I'm thinking is that when a ghoul gets hurt, especially if it's really badly, he needs to have that serum to help him like heal up and stave off like the damage, because it looks like the more damaged he is or the more he's hurt, it's like that's when he starts to lose himself, or he can potentially succumb more to the ghoul oblivion, right? Or the zombie state. That's probably easier to say. I'll say zombie state from now on, it's zombie state. Anyway, so of course, being impaled on this pole and losing, I mean, I don't even know if he bleeds. I guess he does. That was causing him to succumb, right? We saw that he started making the sounds that the other ghouls make, twitching, and he knew it. He knew it was coming, and it's just where he was just extremely difficult. Like, I can't imagine what it is, how much strength it would take. Because I was, I'm teasing in the episode about the arm strength, but yes, you need to have really good arms, but you also need to have core to help lift yourself. When you get to the top, it's all core strength to lift yourself off of that. And of course, some way of like counterbalancing, your midsection to get off, right? And he doesn't have any leverage, right? His feet can't use anything to lift or push off of. And of course, his abs have been ripped through. So him getting off of that, the only way it would have potentially worked is if he had superhuman strength in those arms, which he clearly didn't. But, I really love that they showed that when he was starting to lose himself and trying to remember his name, he started thinking of Janie. And when he said, my daughter's alive, that is what gave him the drive to fight off the zombie state and keep his mind as clear as he could in that situation. But anyways, it was very clear he wasn't going to make it off of that pole by himself, and he ends up getting help from a new type of character we've been introduced to now. So we've seen Death Claws at this point, ghouls, and now super mutants. That's a whole new thing. Yikes! But at least they're intelligent. And as I said, I do think that they're probably better off than the ghouls, right? I mean, this guy, if he's anywhere as old as Coop, we saw with his skin, it didn't look great, but it wasn't falling off. He still had his entire face. So I don't think that and again, maybe that's because of the uranium, which, hello, new information unlocked. Apparently uranium helps ghouls heal. I wonder if it has other perks. I don't know. But the downside to it is it's highly radioactive. So most humans cannot be around uranium much, which is probably one of the reasons why for Coop, that wouldn't be a good long-term solution, especially if he wants to find his wife and daughter, right? If he takes too much of that, he'll become a danger to be around, quite literally. But anyway, so that kind of happened. And while Coop was kind of slipping in and out of consciousness, we got more flashbacks to what happened after his conversation with House. And we see, I was right last episode, that the "we gotta talk" was basically him saying, let's drop the facade, let's just put all the cards on the table, because that's where we are right now. And it was rough, guys. It was harsh. It was harsh to see him say that to his wife, to use the term, were you a monster when that was actually insane. Like, that was actually crazy, Coop. That's a little too much. That was not even a little, it was quite arrogant of you to say something like that. Like, yes, I understand that his world shattered when he saw and heard his wife was willing to be part of something so diabolical, but it's never that black and white. Right? It's never like, no one's instincts are off that much. Do you feel me? Like, I'm not saying that there aren't some people out there that are damn good psychopaths and sociopaths, but it's not like that. And he knew it wasn't like that with Barb. He's known her for a very long time. She didn't even start working for Vault-Tec until well after they were married, right? But I know that his implication is that she's always had the capacity to be terrible. But I mean, really, Coop? Obviously he couldn't have known that back then, but I'm like, if you of back then judging Barb saw what you've been doing and the way you live now 200 years later, kind of making Barb look a bit like a saint in some ways, aren't you, right? Like, point being, life will take you on twists and turns that you don't always expect. And it's always a choice, yes. But, sometimes life and circumstances bring out sides of us even we didn't know were there. And in Barb's case, I'm really glad that, like I said in the episode, that they showed us, because we didn't really see a lot of scenes with Barb last season on her own. It was always through Coop's perception of her. And now we finally got to see like her listening to these guys eating burgers while they're talking about how many nukes they're going to use and, ways to fast track certain people to get to safety while other people were clearly going to suffer horribly. And like, you see, like, she couldn't eat. Her eyes, like, she wasn't even really there. Like, she definitely was dissociating during those moments. And then when House showed up and was talking about, this thing that he created, that the mind control devices, like, it's like every time she thought it couldn't get worse or more depraved and disgusting, someone would show her something even more horrific than what she was planning or what the company was planning to do. And so we see that she kind of got to a point after her meeting with Robert, and she finally tells Robert, and she finally gets her assistant to start looking into the cold fusion, because she's like, I think I need to understand more about this. Like, why does House want it? Why, what has he got planned that he's so disinterested in what's about to happen right now, and he's more interested in this thing that we're selling him? Like, Barbie's a smart woman is my point, right? And she started to finally start thinking about, how do I put these pieces together to maybe figure out a way out of doing all this, right? Because the fear mongering, like what she's saying about all the nukes that were out there and all the stats, blah, 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 those were all real things. But, as Coop was laying it out in their argument, saying, hey, you're saying you're doing this for the sake of our child, but you're about to take out billions of other children. You're about to take out billions of other mothers and husbands and fathers. And when there was literally no reason to. But anyway, when he started to kind of piece, that stuff together, that clearly was things that she'd been thinking already, right? And I think that's why she sent the assistant to go and look into alternatives. But then she said, she told him after that, told Coop, she's like, I have looked at everything that I can, right? Because remember, Barb is high up in Vault-Tec, but she's by no means at the top. And that's what Buzzcut told her in the elevator. Like, girl, you are so replaceable by Vault-Tec. Like, know that if you don't stay in line, if you don't play the game, you are going to end up you're going to come up missing. You and your family are going to they'll wipe you out. It'll be nothing. So anyway, understandably, Coop, I bless him. One of his biggest flaws is his ego, quite frankly. Even now, all these years later, he still has a bit of an ego about him. And he's just like, don't worry, we'll figure out, tell me who it is, Barb, I'll take it. And she said, she had to give him a check. She's like, bro, this is not one of your cowboy movies. You're not going to roll in with a revolver on your hip and solve this. Like, do you not see what's going on? Do you not realize that we are planning a multiple mass casualty events globally? Like, what? That's the scale we're on, bro. Respectfully, you're an actor. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, I hate to agree with House's arrogant ass from last episode, but respectfully, dude, you play people on TV. It's a wonderful job, and I appreciate it because I'm someone who's a huge fan of TV and movies, obviously. But you get my point. In the grand scheme of things, you ain't doing shit in this situation. You're not there. So anyways, I just really like, though, coming back to my point, that seeing some actual emotion, seeing some conflict, conflict, you could see finally that Barbara's really feeling the moral weight of what it was that was about to happen. Like, I never thought at any point, by the way, last season either, that she was like ambivalent or flippant about this, right? It was pretty clear that she's never really loved what this idea meant or what this whole thing meant. But last season, it seemed like she was more logically resolved to do it. But this season, we're really seeing that, like, now we're getting to see more of the emotions and the layers, and the fact that she did, in fact, kind of last minute, but still try to think of ways to abort mission. But she was just too, I think she realized pretty quickly, and again, with Buzzcut warning her, that it was just too much. There was too many levels, and she was effectively on her own. I said all this stuff about Coop. She is just a manager at Vault-Tec effectively too. So yeah, I like that we got to finally see that. It really helped to humanize a lot more of where Barb was coming from. And I think that's important because our very first scene that we see of Coop in season 1 is him and his daughter at that birthday party. He looks like the fallen from grace guy trying to make, a dime. Things are hard. He got divorced, and it's just him and his daughter trying to plug on through. And then when you kind of got some of the story, the backward storytelling, it very much kind of sounded like in the beginning, like Barb was kind of the bad guy, and that Coop was at a place where when he divorced her, there just was nothing but kind of animosity left there. And then I thought that for certain that something had happened where maybe Janie and Barb were together, and that's why he was so desperate to find Barb, which they are together. But you get my point. Like, I thought that was the reason for him caring about Barb so much. But this episode helped to show that he really, once he saw that his wife was conflicted after having their argument, and her basically explaining that one of the reasons she had to keep going with it was because of the threat that Buzzcut gave her in the elevator, and because there's a looming threat to her and the family if she doesn't comply. That's really, I think, where this is all blooming from, right? Like, I really love that moment where she's like she's pleading with Coop and saying, you know me, Coop, like, I'm your wife, you know me. And he's saying, no, I don't. And I mean, I'm sorry, more of that was just his hurt pride. I get that though. Any parent, right? Any person would feel that way if you're married to someone you think you know them inside and out, and then you discover there's so much to them that you don't, right? And they brought that up last season as well when Barb used to tell Coop, like, you were gone to war for years and I had to do everything by myself and I had to figure it out. Like, she had changed so much during that time, and Coop really didn't even take the time to see it because in his mind, I went to war and that was important. You know what I mean? In the case of Coop and Barb, I think that disconnect had been there for a while where he didn't really know where Barb, you know, because like he said last season when he's like, oh, she took this job at Vault-Tec, it was supposed to be like a secretary thing. Now she's running it. I don't know how that happened, right? He kind of very much told it himself a lot last season that he really didn't take time to truly get to know his wife, all of her. Like, I mean, I think at the heart, at the core, he knows who Barb is, and that's what she was trying to say to Coop, but he was more talking about the details of her, which he never really cared about until this whole thing happened, right? So anyways, all of that to say that I think Coop, especially over the last 200 years, has had time to really think about what she meant when she was saying that that he really knew her, and that at her core, she still was a very good person and the woman that he loved, but you know, a lot of things that happened and the situation had gotten just too big and too hard to manage by the time, you know, everything went down. And so anyways, we still haven't even gotten to the point where how they got divorced. Like, that's still a big question for me, but I digress. We see that also in the past that Coop decided to take things into his own hands by getting his hands on the cold fusion, and he did that by drugging Hank. And we see that Barb removed the cold fusion because like I said in the episode, I forgot last season, they showed us how Buzzcut stored it in his body. And so she knew that that's the way it was being stored. She extracted it. And, you know, we ended before we got to see what they planned to do with it. But my guess is that the reason that there is a cold fusion module floating around the world right now is because of this moment, right? My guess is that she gave that to Coop. Coop took it and gave it to Moldover, and that's why Moldover had it in the future. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. But anyways, the point is that was a little act of rebellion, at least from what we've seen so far, of her taking the module instead of, you know, scolding Coop and telling him that he screwed up by knocking this guy out. So anyway, that's kind of how we left things. And now we have a little bit more, like I said, background on Barb and more of her thoughts and feelings on it. And then the relationship dynamic between her and Coop. And as I said, that really just helped solidify for me why Coop is just as passionate about finding Barb as he is about finding Janie. And, you know, basically, I feel like he just wants to say sorry, if nothing else. To possibly just kind of say all the things he wish he had said all those years ago. Because the fact that he's dreaming about this now when he's drifting in and out of consciousness tells me that that's something that he carries on his conscience heavy, is that the way he handled things in Vegas. My guess is Vegas might have been the last time he really got a chance to like be with her like that after everything was said and done. But anyway, that was Coop. Back to what happened to him. Super Mutant took him. Like I said, we found out uranium heals him, so that's interesting, but that's good for Coop to know, I guess, if he can't get his hands on the serum. Again, is it going to help his mind? That's another, maybe, because he said it speeds healing, so maybe that might be potentially a long-term solution for Coop not needing the serum as much, because we know that there's only a finite amount of that rolling around, so maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so he basically gets the offer from the super mutant. He's saying that a bunch of them, ghouls and mutants, are basically unionizing, for lack of a better term, to basically stop the Enclave and the Brotherhood and all these people who hate them for trying to wipe them out. And so he's saying, hey, Coop, like, I saved you and you need people, right? He's like, because we first of all, he's like, hey, join the club. And Coop's like, loner, don't wanna. And then homie's like, but you need people. And Coop's like, no, I got my own stuff. I don't mess with nobody. My business is my own. I'm looking for my family and I don't need anyone. And I love that the mutant says straight up, well, how's that going for you, pal? How I found you impaled on a pole, about to zombie out all by your lonesome. How was that going? Because if I hadn't found you another day, you would have lost everything. So how's that going, right? And even though he's talking about the ghouls and the I don't know, Super Mutants Anonymous here, that was definitely like an audience nod and a nod for Coop regarding Lucy, right? Because he's been trying to keep Lucy at arm's length since he met her. And honestly, as I said last episode or the one before, that if Coop had maybe sat with Lucy and tried to talk to her about the predicament he'd be in when he got to Vegas, maybe they could have worked together to find a solution instead of him thinking he had to do it his way alone. So point is, Coop needs people. That's the bottom line. And so anyways, Coop was like, you know, as much as I'd love to be in the Dead Skin Irradiated Club, I think I'm gonna step on that one. So homie's like, all right, you don't gotta join us, but we also can't let you find where we are in case you get captured. So he knocks Coop out and he takes him away. I thought maybe he was gonna kill him, so thank God he didn't, but I guess he wouldn't have healed him if that was the case. But anyway, He drops Coop off, leaves him, but thank God Dogmeat is a good dog. And he ends up finding Maximus. We can talk about Maximus real quick because there really wasn't much of him this episode. But yeah, they're still him and I keep forgetting the name of his squire, but they're still traveling. They seem to have gotten a decent distance from the Area 51, but they're still on foot. So how far they can get is going to be interesting, but they're getting closer to Vegas, obviously. And we see that the squire's like, we should sell this thing, right? Like, we're poor, we should sell it because we have no money. And, you know, Maximus, kind of going back to what we saw in the first or second episode of the season, you know, with his parents, you know, he's like, I want to give it to good people. I don't want to just, you know, he's like, all those people I just work for, I thought they were good and they're not. So I want someone good to get this instead of us keep handing our good things to bad people. And this kind of sets off a little interesting speech where the squire says that, name a good person. Who do you define as good in this world that we're in right now? And of course he mentions Lucy. And considering we know he's a little angry at Lucy for taking off right now, that's really sweet. That shows you that he is still pretty down bad for her. But anyway, homie, then the squire is like, well, it's easy for her to be good. Like, she had everything in life. So that's why she's good. She'd have to scrape and beg and do all the things that we had to do. And he was saying that, like, he didn't even grow up in a good place. Like, by comparison, Maximus grew up in a really nice settlement, but this guy didn't. So he basically said, look, if I had money and access and all those things, I'd be nice too. And if we sell this and make money, then we can be good. But as I said in the episode, it's not money or privilege or circumstance that makes a person good or bad in the sense of their decisions. That is something you intrinsically do no matter what your situation is. Now, is it easier to make good decisions when you have more privilege and access? Of course. But I promise you, there are people who are destitute, who still will choose not to do things that are morally or legally wrong because that's who they are, or they will choose not to hurt people because that's not something that they want to do, even though it'd make their life potentially easier, if not for a short period of time, to do so. And the same way, people with all the privilege and access and all those things in the world will still sometimes make hurtful and bad decisions. Look at Hank, he's a complete psychopath and he had everything, even in the old world. So it has nothing to do with privilege or access. It's all comes down to who you are and the decisions you choose to make. And as I said, if they got rich, if Squire wasn't a good guy now, he's not gonna be with money, he's just gonna be worse. So anyway, real interesting little, moral message they were kind of putting out there with the whole idea of like, oh, just because Lucy was in a nice place is why she's good. That has nothing to do with it. Those are her choices. So anyway, that's all we had with them for the most part until they ended up running into the ghoul. So thankfully the ghoul's not by himself. And now that Maximus is there, we know his first question he's going to ask is, where's Lucy? And when when the ghoul inevitably tells him where, he's going to want to go get Lucy immediately. There's no doubt he's going to want to rescue her. So I'm excited. We're going to get a reunion. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a reunion probably next episode. So I'm looking forward to that because I do like Lucy and Maximus. They're super cute. And that segues nicely into Lucy. Lucy wakes up. She's inside of this manager's vault, and creepily everything's just a weird homage to the world she grew up in. And she wakes up. She's kind of suspicious at first, but she starts to realize that something's very off with the people that she's seeing in the vault, even though everything looks like a Disney musical. And anyway, she finds her dad, and unsurprisingly, he's trying to act like everything's fine. He's trying to glaze over everything. And in the end, he ends up trying to, like, in his roundabout way, say, listen, what I did was right. What we're doing is right. The vision is still good. Like, look at all the stuff you saw in the wasteland. People still fighting each other over bottle caps. Look how evil humanity is. Bottom line, I know what's best for them. We're going to make them all wear these devices and turn them into some flavorless, loser, culture-free, vanilla-ass, bland, just robots. That's what we're doing because they won't fight at least. They're just going to live lives completely free of free will. See, if I was Lucy, the first question I would have asked is, oh, okay, if that's the solution, Dad, then you're going to pop one of those on your neck then, right? You're going to pop one of those on your neck right now? Because you, I don't know, love your free will. But anyway, she's there and she, bless her naive heart, is, she tries to put cuffs on him and take him away. And of course, Hank is innerly laughing at her because he knows, like, unfortunately, he knows his daughter inside and out. I do think Lucy has changed, but not so much right now because, as I said in the episode, like, kudos to Ella. Like, she did such a good job of when she first saw her dad. Like, the way you could almost see, like, the little girl in her return at seeing her daddy after all this time and, a slight smile come into her face because everything about this place is so nostalgic, right? That it reminds her of her vault. Dad dressed up the way he used to be. Well, short of the uniform. Like, I totally got why she smiled in that moment, right? For a brief second, she probably was like, oh, and the world that I know is back to normal. Everything's safe, everything's nice, Dad's back. The vault that I knew that made sense is here. Like, I got it. I did understand why she was like momentarily kind of happy. But then, of course, as soon as he starts talking and moving around, she kind of snaps back and it all comes back to her that this is all fake and that her dad is not who who he seems to be. And, bless her. I think she still very much wants to believe that there's some really deep, good explanation for why her dad has done these things, right? Like, I'm bringing you to justice. Like, you're going to handcuff him and drag his ass all the way back to Vault 33 by yourself, girl? Like, that's cute. But bless her for thinking so. But in the end, we know that really what Lucy wants, she just wants to know, or wants to tell her story. She just wants to have justification of her belief that there's no way that this man that raised her for all these years was capable of doing the things that she's learned have happened. Like, between Shady Sands to that she's behind a company that caused this mess, to taking out her mom, to all the things he did along the way. Like, she just doesn't want to believe that that man raised her. She just wants to believe that there's some driving force she's not seeing. So anyways, that's why she's just not, being far more strict with him than she should be. Like, any man who's going to cuff himself in front of you like that, like, Lucy, come on. Lucy, come on. He is doing this because he needs time to manipulate you, sis. But listen, I'm glad that at least he's trying to manipulate her without the device, because I really did think she was going to wake up with one of those things on the back of her head. I'm glad he didn't do it. I was very scared he was going to just put it on and threaten Lucy that if she didn't comply, or he was going to turn it on, I should say. But either way, we see that he tries to, give her the propaganda about how bad the world is and how this is the only solution, is to force everybody into servitude. And I'm glad that she, said that, like, this is not normal. Like, you're forcing these people to do things they don't want to do. But then we see that later on, when the two people he's pulled, which one of them, I think that's great, the throwback to the Legionnaire and the NCR guy, they show up. Of course, they hate each other and they're, basically barely restrained. And of course, Hank planned that. But anyway, he's like, oh no, what are we going to do? Like, if I leave here and I leave these two alone, they're going to kill each other and probably kill all these people. Then what do we do? Like, are you going to talk to them? Are you going to find another way? Like, my button's the only way. Well, yeah, in this situation, it is the only way, short of keeping them jailed up, right? But of course, he created a situation where Lucy did not have a ton of time to think, right? Because this guy was trying to kill her or kill the other guy, or they're both trying to kill each other. So, Hank's he's not new to manipulation at all. He's true to it. And poor Lucy was just put in the worst predicament. Even before that, actually, I think that was really crazy how she was like, let these people go. And she tells them, hey, you're all free. Like, once we go, you can leave. And they're like out there, like outside to the outside, where there's like all the dirt and the filth and the death claws and the people, the murderers, and then the cannibals, the ghoul. You want out there, when down here where we got fresh food and water and clothing and safety? Like, even if they hadn't had their mind and free will erased and ripped away, I still don't think they would have chosen to go back. Even a jail cell in this vault is better than what most of them were experiencing on the surface. Now, again, I don't know how many of them actually came of their free will. We saw a couple episodes back that Hank took that one guy, he just tranked him and took him against his will. So I'm sure a good chunk of them are not there by choice, but I just thought it was funny that I'm like, truthfully, Lucy, it's not a great option. You're not selling being outside right now. But anyway, sadly, Hank managed to manipulate Lucy into pressing the button because he knew that his daughter intrinsically does not like to hurt people. She hates seeing people die. And so that's what he did. He created a choice where she had no other choice but to press the button, at least for who she is. And now I think he's going to use that against her, right? See, it's the only solution. I was right? Now they're not going to kill each other. Is this perfect? You hate people dying. This is a way to make sure no one ever dies again. The whole world will be a vault. Yay, right? And so we'll see what happens, because we didn't get a chance to see what Lucy's feelings are on it. I don't think she appreciates being manipulated. I hope she sees that it's a manipulation. But so I guess we're going to have to wait until the next episode to kind of see what Lucy's going to do about this, how she's going to process this, because, her dad did, make a seemingly strong case, considering that since the last God knows how many weeks that Lucy's been out here have been a hellish nightmare in one way or another. I do think overall, though, that he's underestimating how much Lucy's changed. Like that line too, where he said, "Ooh, I thought being out here might have changed you, Lucy, but I'm glad it didn't," right? That was basically his cue in his mind of, oh, well, I can still manipulate you then, that's fine. I do think that Lucy has fundamentally changed, though, just not in the ways that he expected. I think he just thought that Lucy would turn into like a complete savage just being outside for a few weeks, but she's not the same girl as she was when she left the vault. She fundamentally still has the same principles, which is again why he was able to manipulate her with the whole warring guys situation, but she's not the same. And I do think that if Maximus does make his way back to this vault with the ghoul, that Lucy will remember how much she's changed, and she'll have more motivation to potentially go up against her dad. But as I said many times, my biggest fear is that I still feel like Hank very much has a plan of putting that thing on Lucy. And I don't know, I still haven't shaken the prediction that she's gonna end up with one of those things on the back of her neck somehow. But anyways, that's basically what happened with Lucy. And then the last we had was just a little bit on the vault situation. It's still deteriorating. In short, things are still going bad, and it's extra bad because in the vault with, oh gosh, why can't I remember the name of the overseer of 33? But either way, she's losing control of the vault, right? It's bad enough that the water pump is broken, which we discovered was actually a known failure. And again, I wonder if that was a choice now that they got that water pump. But either way, the water crisis rages on, and this idiot is out here creating new clubs every week just because he's trying to feel important. And, you know, she's trying to put an end to it, and he's not listening. And when she tried to forcibly make him stop, he basically said, well, no, none of us want to listen to you anymore. Quite frankly, we're done. We're going to do what we want. Like, you can't stop us. And if you do try to stop us, we're just all going to stop doing what we were supposed to do, right? So sadly, you know, she's kind of outnumbered at the moment. And before, you know, they kind of had this loose kind of control over the vaults, you know, that was, you know, just a firm word or a shake of the hand was enough to keep people in line. But ever since last season, what happened in the vaults and all the shakeups that have happened, it's really fundamentally shaken a lot of things loose in 33. And I don't think she realized how bad it was until now she's realizing that this guy, this sniveling loser that used to get scared at the tone of her voice, is now back-talking her and actually getting quite a few people to join him. So I kept saying in the episode, let's see what happens when they run out of water. But I mean, that's going to be her too. And I think she understands, you know, that if things don't get fixed soon, even if they do fix the water pump, it's going to be chaos in that vault very quickly. I know she's worried, and she should be, but I don't know. And Norm's still there. You know, Norm's still out there. So yeah, we got no Norm this episode. No Norm at all. But yeah, I don't know. Someone's got to go back to 33, though, I guess, if those people need to survive. Oh, speaking of 31, I did. Poor Chet. That's all I got to say about that. Poor Chet. But anyway, that was pretty much the episode. Once again, we didn't get a ton in the way of action, but I think we got a lot of really good story and character building that's, I think, always necessary in a show like this to understand more of like where they're going to take things in the future and also why people do what they do. Because with the Ghoul in season 1, outside of the few flashbacks of like what led up to the world that we're living in now, we didn't know a lot about Coop. You know, kind of the deeper things that drove him. But I feel like this season they've been doing a great job of, you know, filling in those gaps for us. And as I said, I really love that we got a little bit of insight into Barb as well. So yeah, good episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.